What cinema moment, experience, scene blew your mind away? When the dinosaurs appeared on Jurassic Park, I remember being in awe of how real it looked. Cheesy, I know, but I watched The Sixth Sense at the cinema when it was first released and nobody knew what the big twist was. There was a collective gasp in the audience when the big reveal happened. And I remember thinking I couldn't believe I hadn't seen it coming at all. I still remember, 22 years later, sitting in the theater in enwrapped silence for the entire 25-minute-long storming Omaha Beach opening scene in Saving Private Ryan. One of my earliest cinema memories is from Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. At the end of the film, Luke is back aboard the Millennium Falcon, having had a new prosthetic arm attached. There's a very quick close shot of the prosthetic tendons in his arm moving before they flip the cover closed and get back to the story. That tiny glimpse below the surface blew me away as a kid, and I still think of it 30-something years later. I'm going to go with a different tone. There have been plenty of gorgeous visuals and what just happened moments. But one striking visual that I will never forget is the rocks on Oskar Schindler's grave at the end of Schindler's List. No other scene in movie history has been more powerful and profound to me than that scene. To see the real people that he saved and their descendants paying their respects. Holy shit, you guys. That broke me. On the lowest of keys, when Caesar shouted, "No," in Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, it felt like the air was taken out of the theater. T2 was fucking epic. The first time seeing Fellowship of the Ring, where Gandalf blocks the Balrog on the bridge at Khazad-dûm, "You shall not pass." Quote. I keep saying this over and over again, here on Reddit. But seriously though, children of men, when the shooting stops. LOTR. The Two Towers. Near the end of the Battle of Helm's Deep, when Gandalf leads a wave of riders charging down a hillside toward the orc armies. On a big screen. It was fantastically epic. Pure goosebumps. The Iron Giant. Watching him fly into the nuke to save the town from certain death. I was so young, it was the first time I ever grasped the concept of death and the first time I had ever cried during a movie. Superman. I've always liked the scene in Black Hawk Down, at the 40 to 50 second mark, where the sound fades as the helicopters approach the city, like the calm before the storm. The intro scene to Saving Private Ryan. When the cruiser came on screen in the first Star Wars, Episode 4, saw it in a 35mm theater. The screen was 60 feet tall. Two moments in The Dark Knight stick out to me. Joker's video of him taunting the guy in the fake Batman suit when he goes from silly to the way he says, "Look at me." Holy shit. The silence after that scream was incredible. The other part is the semi-flipping over. Still remember hearing gasps in the theater when it happened. The T-Rex breaking through the fence and attacking the kids in the car in Jurassic Park. I was 9 when I saw it in the cinema. The whole scene from start to finish was fantastic. The first scene of Inglourious Basterds. The tension just builds and builds and builds. It's incredibly emotionally draining and unforgettable. And they create all this tension straight off the bat. All the character setup and introduction to the plot has to happen right there in that scene. In Signs, when the alien appears between the bushes in the birthday party. On the news. No matter how many times I've seen that movie, I still jump in that scene. The first Saw It movie ending. When I watched it for the first time, my mind was blown. I re-watched it several times after, and the ending was consistent throughout. Princess Mononoke. It was the late 90s and The Princess Mononoke was first Ghibli film to premiere in the US. The audiences grew up on DBZ and Cowboy Bebop had come out a few years prior. Everyone was ready for this moment, and I still recall the cheers during the blue Ghibli screen. Thinking about the first 4 demons still gives me chills. LOTR. Fellowship of the Rings. My friends and I skipped school to catch the premiere. No regrets. The shock and horror at Boromir's demise filled the theater with shocked gasps. Loved it. The Matrix, one of cinema's coolest action intros. I saw it again during the Dolby Atmos remaster release last year and it's still mind-blowing. Spider-Man. Into the Spider-Verse. I went into the theater without any expectations. From the style to the unique storytelling. It was the comic book adaptation I wanted my entire life. Terminator 2, Judgment Day. The big reveal, Arnie being the good guy. Epic moment.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.